Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone, so I'm going to show you the technique of how to use the hot or the hard wax. A lot of times we prefer to use hard wax on areas where the hairs are thicker, like the underarm or the bikini area. It's not really advisable for you to use it on the legs or other areas that you have finer hair. So the first process is that you would cleanse the area. Client comfort is very important. Make sure your client is comfortable. After you've wiped, we're now going to use talcum powder. Because this area, there's tendency for there to be moisture. Your client can sweat while you are trying to wax them. We always use talcum powder just to make sure that while we're waxing, it helps us take care of moisture at least for that short period. Then you're not going to tell your client to take their other hand, because clients tend to, because of the breast, you tell her to pull. It is very essential because it's quite a fleshy area and we need the skin to be held taut while we are applying and also removing. If you look closely, you can see that it can be quite confusing for somebody that is just waxing for the first time. The hairs are growing in different directions, and that's why we just feel the hot wax is better to be used here, because it works with, you don't really have to follow a direction when you're applying. So I'm going to wax her in two parts. So I'm just going to apply the wax in like a figure of 8. But I'll make sure that I make the edges thick because I don't want it to break. So you just apply it randomly up and down so that it can grab all the hairs, but make sure that your edges are thick. So we've applied this and we'll have to wait for it to dry. And that is why a lot of people feel that hot wax can be time consuming, because you always have to wait for the wax to dry. It is the warmth of the wax that determines. Still very warm. But then I'll just flick the edge, and you can pull from any direction. I want to pull from this direction. So I flick the edges, and a lot of times it's good to extend your edge to areas where there is no hair, because if you leave it on areas that you have hair, when you flick, it's going to actually hurt your client. They will feel the pain. So we have that extension there, just waiting for it to dry. Our client has a serious face. A lot of times it's best to tell your client to look the other side. It just helps with the anxiety that comes with the pulling. Anytime you are working on fleshy areas, you have to make sure you pull before you pull the wax off. So that's fine, it's ready. So we'll flick. A lot of times I always give my clients a count of maybe 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can see the hair is removed. And you can see the hair bulb is removed from the roots. When we remove, we always like to put pressure, especially on fleshy areas, so that the pain will be reduced. Hope it wasn't too painful. And there are some times you will even get things like spotting, which she's having. It's very normal. It just confirms to us that we have actually removed the hair from the follicle. So we're going to wipe that area first before we continue. The best technique is to combine these two methods. That's the best thing. Most times we use the hot wax to remove the bulk of the hair, then we finish up a tidy up with the strip. So I'm going to apply talcum again. Seems as if there's a bit of moisture. So I'm just going to apply. I'm also going to take a little bit and apply on the other side. Because it's our first time waxing, that is why I'm applying it in bits. If she was an experienced waxer, I would do everything at once. You can save time this way. They will cool off at the same time rather than waiting. So I'll flick the edges, also flick these edges, and I'll wait for them to dry. Once you can't feel the warmth again, it's dry. But if you now leave it for too long, your wax will snap. So it's in between. Okay, this is ready. So I just feel, let me remove from this side. So I'll stretch. I'm stretching the skin. I'm removing. And a little bit of the hair is removed too. Sorry, you can see. There are different factors that can make, there are sometimes that you'll be trying to pull and the hair will not be removing. There are different factors. The thickness of the hair also determines that. So we've removed the bulk of the hair. We're just going to finish it off with the strip wax. So here we're going to follow the direction of hair growth. So we look at our client. We have direction of hair growth here. Pull and we remove. Look at the direction of hair growth again. The hair is growing this way. Make sure we pull. We pull pressure. Then we're only going to wax one more area, and any extra hair that we have, we're going to tweeze them out because we don't want too much trauma to the skin. So the last area is hairs that are coming down. When your wax is not removing that way, sometimes there can be moisture on the skin. So we're just going to tidy up, and then any extra hairs that is there, we're going to twist them out with our tweezers. But first I'm going to apply the after wax oil. Just to remove any wax residue. You can see that our underarm is looking a bit brighter, because the good thing about waxing is that it does remove dead skin cells. And because we don't want to put too much trauma to the skin, we're just going to go ahead and tweeze. That's all. Thank you.
Audio Jungle.